Okay, so now you have your domain, your hosting all taken care of, and you have your email set up, and you have WordPress installed. Okay, so this is basically the blank, the starting point right here. So normally what I do is I normally come over here to the left and start working my way down. So the first thing that I would do is I would go to posts, and there is a post in here called Hello World, which I leave for now as a placeholder. But I would come to categories, and in categories here it shows up by default as uncategorized, and I would just edit this, and I would change this to whatever, well, whatever makes sense. But in this case here, um, I'd name it WordPress. And this here has to be all lowercase letters here, and if it's two words, like say WordPress themes, you would have to put a dash in there and then themes here, all again all in lowercase. But in this case here, it's just WordPress, so I won't do that. And this is the top level category, so there isn't any parent. So I will do update. Actually, since I'm here, you know what I'll do? I will make a subcategory real quick, and then over here is I would probably do this just for this site, WordPress themes, and then I would make that, as I said, WordPress themes. And I probably would on this one here, I'd make the parent WordPress, and then I would no, down here, add new category. You can fill out a description if you want. I typically don't. Let's see. Okay, there it is. Okay, so now you have your WordPress themes. You show it's a subcategory of WordPress, and I would, in this case here, I would also do WordPress plugins, just because it makes sense. And that's really a lot of what it is. You want to do what makes sense. You want to you want to be doing something that has your visitors and viewers obviously able to navigate your website. That's obviously important. Media is where you're going to put all your pictures and videos and things like that. So I don't really have anything to do with that right yet. Your links is your blog rolls. So that's the one like sometimes you see on the right here, which has maybe your friend's website or other websites that you have. I'm not going to do anything with that right now. By default. WordPress comes with one page, install one page in one post, and I already spoke about the Hello World. So this is just a sample page. So I leave this in here as a placeholder for right now, and I keep moving down. Now what I typically do here is I typically skip over themes and plugins until I get everything else done here, and I'll show you the basic settings that are important for every WordPress installation. We're going to do that next. Another comment here. Appearance is where your themes where you would choose your theme, and your theme is basically the framework for what your site is going to look like. And then that has some options. Some of them are easier, and some of them are more complicated. And we'll discuss more of that in other videos. Your plugins is the other thing I'm going to skip for right now, because we're going to talk about that in an upcoming video also. And these are the pieces of software that you can plug in or install into your WordPress installation that will allow you to do certain things. So say maybe you want an opt-in box, or you want to do certain things like SEO or something like that. There's specific plugins that help you with those things, or maybe change something, or whatever. There's so many things, and we'll go over more of that for right now. Now, I usually don't do anything with this right yet either, but you can, your admin or whatever you signed up for when you built your WordPress site, that's you, and you could add stuff to it. Your Google Plus profile, and typical profile things. Tools. This is where you can import and export pages and categories and tags and things like that. It's not anything to certainly be concerned about right in the beginning here. And then settings, this is where it is important here. So we are going to go through a few of these things. And these are the basic setups that you're going to have to take care of in every installation. And usually you want to do these things before you do your appearance or before you do your themes and plugins. And the reason why is just because you don't want to forget it and you want to have it done from the beginning. So site title is important. Now this site here is about WordPress themes and plugins. So obviously I'm using WordPress themes. I could have used WordPress plugins and themes review site. And the reason why I did this is because actually WordPress themes gets a lot more searches than WordPress plugins, which actually surprised me when I was doing a little bit of keyword research before making this website. So I typically I do a bunch of review sites, so that's why you see some of these things in here. And I set these things up when I installed WordPress. And these are, like I said, a couple of those questions in the last video. These are a couple questions those are going to answer, so I just filled out the tagline here. So, honest review of WordPress themes and WordPress plugins. You see here how I use WordPress plugins in this one also. This you don't have to do anything for this. This is just how somebody's going to find your website. This is your address, and all this other stuff is I pretty much leave this by default, and a lot of times I will change this, so I think it's -4 for here in New York. That's Eastern Standard Time. You can actually if you scroll up, you can pick New York, or well, I'm in New York, that's where I'd pick. You can pick wherever you want, and then save changes, and that'll be taken care of. Okay, now the next thing I'm going to click on here is writing. Did it update? No, it still hasn't updated. Come on, faster. Okay, so now it's done that. So now I would go to writing. And I pretty much leave this stuff pretty much the same, the same as it is. The only thing I really change here, which actually I will mention one thing here also. You can set this up so that if you want to just send an email to yourself, you can actually, or to a an email that you set up, you can set that up like info or something. You probably wouldn't want to choose info. You'd probably want to choose something that people wouldn't guess, like it suggests here with these crazy examples. Nobody's going to guess that, so nobody's going to be able to post on your website without knowing that email address. But you could actually make posts right by sending an email to a certain address that you put in here, and you can fill that out. The only thing I fill out here, and I guess I'd hate to really give you some bad information here, but this is actually what comes by default here. And I have a list. I wish I had a way to really check it. Because I've heard some different things about what's good and what's bad, and they say you don't want pinging too much all over the place. And this is basically what this is going to do is this is going to go out and ping a bunch of places to let them know every time you've made a post. So if you go make a post, you can put a list here. Right now it only has this one, but it will go out to all those sites every time you make a post and ping them and let them know basically that you've done something. So this will help you get your post indexed faster. I have a list that I put together a couple years ago, I guess, of places to ping. And I don't, I've never changed it. I've just always kept them the same. So I'll talk more about that in an upcoming video, and I'll also see if I can maybe find a better list and give that to you. So I don't think I've made any changes here. So don't have to do anything there. Okay. So reading here is the next thing that you may find important here. And these again are the basic settings that you should do with every WordPress website you build. Okay, so on the front page here, what do you want your front page? All your posts. So if it is all your posts, every time you post, it will post on top of all the other ones. And with these settings here, it will do it 10 times. So if I change this to 5, you would have 5 posts on your front page or on your home page once you made 5 posts. Okay, you also have the ability to check static page, which there's only a sample page here right now. So I can make the front page the sample page, and then I would have to create another page, um, and maybe I would name that blog, and then I could then once I made that page, that would show up here, and I would be able to select that, and then my posts that I would make would go to that page, and it would be 10 of them, or up to 10, or whatever number you put there, and then that would leave my home page as sample page, and that could be a sales letter, a squeeze page, or something to that effect. But in this case here, we're going to leave this here for right now. Also, when you make when you're doing your feed, I think summary is a little bit better here. Instead of giving them all the full text, that gives if you have your feed and there's 10 posts in it and it's only a little bit brief piece of information, you got somebody who reads that and they're interested in it. They're going to come visit your website, and that's what you want. So that's also a lot of times why in a lot of I don't know, bad word. There's a lot of times, a lot of things you do in marketing, it's actually, if you think other people are going to pick up your content, sometimes it's good to leave a link in the beginning. So take that for what it's worth. Okay, discussion. I'm not even going to show you this because I don't do really anything with this here. Media and privacy, I don't either. By default, they're all set up the way they're supposed to be. Now, permalinks here, this one here is what I'd say is probably one of the most critical things you want to do. And you want to come down here and select post name. And what that will do is when you make a post, whatever you name the post, and I'll show you more, I'll give you better examples of this later, that's what the name is going to show up here. So if you are something.com and you made a post, like I'm doing here, WordPress video or whatever, it would end up being WordPress-video would be the post name. And this looks better than, by default, what would show up would be 1.23, and it's also SEO friendly because now Google and other search engines can kind of get an idea of what your post is about, and then that's certainly going to help you with ranking. So to me, this is a really big one. So you'd want to do that, and you want to hit save changes, and then so that's basically it for the basic settings for WordPress once you set it up. So in the next video, we're going to talk about themes. So I'll see you there.